Welcome to Hassle-Free Hosting with AirDXB, the podcast where we explore the world of short-term rentals in Dubai and beyond. Hello. Welcome, Gino. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. Start of Ramadan.
I know.
Summer's
First
coming.
day. Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem to you too.
Yeah,
Oh
I sent
boy.
that message out to everyone I know today.
I bet you did.
Yeah,
But you didn't send it to me.
No, I didn't send it to you. No.
What I
should
got
have done,
from,
shouldn't I?
well, you should have done. Instead, you were messaging me at what time this morning?
5:30 with a baby and a bottle. Yeah.
So how is all that? How is fatherhood?
Amazing, tiring. You can see the bags getting bigger and bigger. My hairline going further.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
I mean, this is why you're wearing that hat.
It is, right? Yeah. I've actually got no hair under it.
And you're not plugging your company at all, are you? Where you
No,
work?
not at all. No.
No, Strada,
not
by the
at
way,
all.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Gino Cross from Strada. Anyway, thank you so much for coming.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So, what I want to talk to you about, all things real estate and all
Love
things AirDXB and all things why you use AirDXB. So, for everyone that's listening, Gino is a real estate agent in Dubai, working for Strada, as we've already discussed.
Yep.
Gino and I have known each other for how long?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. And Gino has bought a property and AirDXB is managing it. So
Yes.
let's start from the beginning when we met. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. I know what you're going to say. I was an hour late to the meeting. It upsets you every time, doesn't it? I know. I was working for a developer.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh my God, long time ago. Yeah, and we had a meeting. I loved where you were going with the business. It was very, very early days, wasn't it? The passion,
Very
the
early
drive.
days.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was just. I actually thought you were a
4 months.
broker, to be honest. That's why I contacted you.
Well,
I
that's
thought you were a
no.
brokerage.
Well, that's why you decided to turn up an hour late because you're like, I was only a broker.
Yeah.
Little did you know.
Yeah.
And much did you then learn.
I know.
So you turned up, you did, yeah. So you thought I was a broker.
Yep.
And then you
We
actually asked
brokers turn up to the office all the time, and I think, I just can't bother to deal with these people. And I already messaged you, I'd spoken to you, but I was running a little bit late, which isn't like me at all, is it? No, I was half an hour late today.
I wasn't going to say anything, but okay.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Yeah, and that, mate, I think we just hit it off straight away. I loved your business plan, I loved your business model. I thought that the thing I like about AirDXB from a broker, from brokerage, as well as an owner, is you're completely different. You care about the client, you care about the property. So that's what I really liked about it. I was happy to refer people to you and so on and so forth.
If we talk about that agency, if I recall, nothing particularly happened with that agency. I think you and I met. I think it was instant bro love.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Bromance,
I like him.
yes.
Bromance.
Yeah.
Bro love. Bromance.
I think we had beers about 3 days in.
We had beers about 3 days in
yeah.
and said, right, talk to me more about it. And I remember sat down with you. It was in front of JLT.
Yeah, in Nola.
Nolus.
Yeah.
Nolus, that's right. And discussed it more. And it was more, from my perspective, I think putting it to you was that, look, we can go out to your clients and we can advise on what we can deliver for them. We can make more money the long term. The homeowner can retain the control of that asset. And it was these sorts of things that we were then discussing. From that developer, you then went straight into real estate agency. So not selling developer stock, you went into an agency. And I think that's where, if I recall, you and I started...
We really hit it off, didn't we? That's where we started
doing
working
business
together properly. Yeah,
Properly.
Blue Waters.
Blue Waters.
When it first launched.
So what, if you remember...
I'm thinking now, yeah.
If you remember, so what is it that you saw in AirDXB that would help enhance you to go and do those deals?
I think, like I said, credibility for me as a brokerage owner now, as a broker at the time, credibility is such a big thing in our market. And working with you, you were so credible. The reports we were putting out, I remember you writing up the reports. I was looking and thinking, I've never seen anything like
7,
this.
8 pages, wasn't
But
it?
it's amazing.
Of good quality stuff.
It was fantastic. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Thinking, like, this is genuine. People will buy into this, right? And I remember going and getting whatever the developer had, going into investors and going, well, if we buy this, especially with the payment plan at the time, Greg will do this. And it all happened as well, right? So that's why I love working with you.
Well, that's the thing. It happened. It wasn't just us saying...
That's why I liked it, because it was genuine. It wasn't... there was other companies that were sort of approaching us that were saying, we'll get ridiculous returns. And I was a bit like, I don't think this is going to happen. Didn't know enough about it at the time, but yours seemed really, really genuine. And it was. And it all worked out. So for us as a broker, we keep our client, everyone's happy, whatever we say is going to happen, happened. And yeah, we did loads of deals together, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. And that is what it was at the end of the day. We were submitting reports over and saying, this is what we believe we can get on the return. And by delivering on that, one hopes encouraged you to then move forward with other clients to say, look, this is the way to go. And it did.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about. It's not over-promising.
No, it's not.
It's not about that. It's about under-promising and over-delivering.
Which is exactly what the most of the market don't do. So, yes.
Exactly that. Tell everyone what they want to hear and then just don't do any of
just
that.
Run away and block people. Yeah. This is the market.
Exactly that. So Blue Waters is where we first started, which, your favourite development in Dubai?
100%.
Is it?
And it's rocketed now as well.
Yeah, I know.
I actually had the chance to buy a property there. The guy I was working for at the time, we went and did...
Hang on, when was this?
When I was a broker, I'd first come into a broker. So you're in that stage. We haven't really got any money.
So you're talking 3.5 years ago. So this is all pre-pandemic.
Yeah. So there was loads of developer stock, fantastic payment plans. And the guy that I worked for at the time, I said to him, I found this development. It's amazing. We've got to go and have a look. He came with me and he said, okay, fine, I'll buy one. And he looked around and he said, do you want one? And honestly, at the time, I'd never done I think I'd maybe done one or two deals. I was paying back everyone and doing whatever. And he said to me, I'll pay the down payment for you and then you continue. It'll incentivize you to earn more and work harder and whatever. And I remember converting it back to sterling thinking, no way, am I leveraging that much? And what a stupid decision that was, because now they've doubled, if not tripled in price.
Well, it's insane. Yeah. When you look at the pandemic, of course, what that did for the market in general devastated it. I remember looking at one beds there around 1.5 mil, and I'm laughing.
Really?
Right at the last, let's say, third of the pandemic, it had hit. Everyone was worried. Get out of it. The market's going to fold. This is the worst thing ever. 1.5, and then what? 6, 7, 8, 9 months, maybe even up to 12, coming out the pandemic. What are they now?
They're 5 million. No, 5
million.
5. Yeah, I saw them
5 now.
5 million
now.
Sorry. Yeah.
So 6, 7 months coming out, they doubled up to 3.
Yeah.
They're 5 now.
Yeah. A 2-bed, 8 million. I was selling them at 3.5. Oh, it's
1 bed.
That's too, yeah.
Because this is one I recite back to people when I talk about the past of AirDXB, and one of the biggest upsets I had as a business, and it absolutely involves you. It was when a client of yours was looking at buying a building.
Yes.
And we were talking about buying the building, putting it all into short let AirDXB running it, sort of sprinkling a bit of Vegas on there because of Blue Water. Say it.
With the big guitars in the lobby.
Big guitars in the lobby. And we were saying, look, if we've got Caesar's Palace next door, and then what we would do is put it on for short let and sell each individual unit with a markup of, I don't know, 15, 20, 30%.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do that?
I know.
Well, we didn't have the money to do it. We would have done it if we could have afforded it. But you look at that investor. Money.
I know.
The money. So this is the beauty then of that short let model. We could have rented it out while trying to sell it at the same time, and offered that property chain free upon transfer.
That's the most attractive thing, and you're building up a track record of a yield that you can say, look, over the last 3, 4, 5, whatever, this is what it's yielding. It's a no-brainer really for any investor,
and inherit all future bookings.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, staying in it. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about you because, as we know, you're a client.
Yep.
A much loved client of AirDXB, and a very happy client. Is that having that ability to be able to sell that property vacant on transfer?
Yeah.
You're allowed to. Well, allowed. It's like with the short let police.
Yeah.
Of course, you can stay on your own property when you want to, and all these sorts of things. But
thank you.
So moving out of Blue Waters, and then let's talk about you then as the super agent that you became.
Well,
you did, and I know you're going to say, no, I didn't. You did. You became very good at what you did, didn't you?
Yeah, just I worked in a way after working in the Blue Waters, doing all the Blue Waters deals. I learned that was for me better to work with investors as opposed to running around trying to find people their dream home. That I work better with investors.
So you talking more off plan?
More off plan. It could be anything really. Most people here have a location, have an area that they're assigned to. Everyone always asks me, so what was your area when you were broken? Then what was your area? And I'm like, I don't really have an area because I've sold all over because we work with developers. Built a really good relationship with some of the big developers. I can only really sell what I'd either buy myself or what I like. Call them sexy projects. There's certain projects that I'm like, it launches and we're going to pay this and do this and that. And there's no point in coming to see me because...
Well, do you tend to find that the ones that are incentivising you more are the ones that are going to be the tougher...
The non-sexy. Yeah. The non-sexy projects. Yeah. So I like the sexy projects. I built really good relationships with a handful of clients. I work a little bit differently. I work with about 10 clients. And we sort of go out, we buy, we then sell when it goes up, and we look at what we can rebuy. It's just a cycle. It's completely different. Going into Strada now, it's a very estate agent trained. It was a very estate agent trained business. I've come in as a bit of a deal maker, and it's completely different. And everyone's like, what are you doing? So it's a different way of working, I find.
So what do you mean? Talk to me more about that.
I feel like an estate agent, there's big firms out here that will train you, fantastic training, but train you as an estate agent.
Are you now using that word estate agent, which is very British terminology?
Yeah, because
so
that's what
mythology
it is.
Behind how you work.
And you're going to go and basically get a listing, list it, sort of sit there and wait. Lead comes through, and then do a viewing, ask for an offer, and that's it. You never speak to that person again. Whereas my thing was completely different. Okay, well, fine, we'll do that process, but we can also build a relationship with wealthy people that like you, trust you. You give sound advice. It's not a hit and run service. I have people ring me and say, I found this unit. It's 30 million, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy it. It's not with me, and I'm not here to do it. It's a good idea. I'm not going to make any money, but building the trust that then they do come back to me. They trust what I'm saying when they do buy. So that was, and also then, as a broker, you can then justify fees, right? Because you say, well, I'm giving you value, so then you're going to pay me a fee on it. So that's what I did, mate, and I did all right at it. Yeah,
you did.
Yeah,
you did. And if we go back to the product you're selling, so you're working with developers.
Yep.
So you got off plan.
Yep.
Is that easier to sell than a property in Meadows?
It's a very different dynamic. It's a very different dynamic. You're working, so you build a relationship with the developer. You'll have someone in the developer that works with you, and you have to have a chemistry with that person that when you come today and sit down, they're not just going to go, well, we've got this for 30 million. His budget's 4 million, stop, which a lot of them do. You build the chemistry and you understand what the client's looking for. Whereas going for the Meadows, you might be an investor, but chances are you're going to go buy your dream home, renovate it, move in, whatever. So it's just a completely different sales cycle. It's completely different.
Easier?
It's just different. There's pros and cons. The reason I say that, was half the team at the moment, can I go into off plan? And I'm like, you can, and it sounds easier, but then you don't really have a portal to give you the buyers. So you've got to go find the buyers through relationships. So there's different, when you get the buyers, it's amazing. And you're not fighting with stock. At the moment you are. But yeah, it's just a completely different concept.
Yeah. And did you get stuck into secondary much?
No, mate. I had never done. Do you want something really bad? I'm going to say this in front of everyone. So I've been in the market 5 years. Done tons of deals. Was predominantly an off-plan broker. Came in as bought into Strada as one of the owners. Came in as all excited, and immediately people started asking me about secondary market. And I'd never done a secondary market deal in my life. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I actually don't know the process. I can tell you all about off-plan. But has now done multiple secondary market deals, so I understand. Yeah, how bad is that?
Did you say how bad is that? But that's why you became so successful in off-plan sales, because you stuck to off-plan. You didn't do that, what we see time and time again, is that scattergun approach.
No.
Hunting any deal.
No. And I don't like work. Do you know what? For me, I don't like, it sounds really bad. I don't really like working with someone unless I've got a relationship with them. I find it really difficult because it's more of a hit and run process. Okay, if I meet you and you want to buy a house and we have it, fine. But if you're building a portfolio or you're trying to achieve a certain yield, or like when we went, right? When we went and bought those properties. Yeah. So we went, found a development. I said I quite like it. Showed it to you. You liked it as well, right? We went up there. That for me is far better because we're working together on it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We've got a relationship, and I can then say to you, it's good, it's bad. Obviously, you know real estate as well, so you can make your own decisions. But that's the way I prefer to work, as opposed to just receiving a lead. That client's with everyone, takes everyone's advice, doesn't listen to anything, and then nothing happens. It's just a headache. Yeah. Sounding negative, don't I? But
no, it's the truth.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Is it the truth? It is the truth.
That is the truth.
I mean, people have different experiences, but from your side, and I must say all the deals I've done in the last 20-odd years that I've done in real estate, I agree. And it is about, I feel, especially someone like Dubai, building that circle around you. So it's the company you work for, it's, let's say, people like us that work with you, obviously two separate companies, and then forming that alliance that then you can go to the different clientele for whatever reason. But you've got that backing. You've got that person that you can trust. You know, I would more than happily, which I already am now, handing over buyers that we work with to yourself, Strada, to say, can you please look after them? And that is what it is all about. 100%. And it's not losing your, as I said, these brokers are rushing around trying to find these deals. It's their nerve. There you go. It's not losing your nerve. Stick to what you know. And it's something I always saw and very much respected in you, that you stuck to what you were doing, persevered. And when you came over from the UK, wet behind the ears,
Yes.
not much money in your pocket,
Nothing at all. Yeah.
house shares, flat shares,
Yes.
all of it.
I think that's a great thing to go through. Anyone that coming over there, you have to do it, right?
to go through
I remember
it.
coming over thinking, I'm not sharing. I'm not going to live in that certain place. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to get my own apartment. And now looking back, anyone that comes over here, I'm like, you have to go and live in sharing, because you meet all my mates are from that time in my life. All Ellie's friends, my wife's friends are from that time in our lives. Like, build such character, and you meet so many good people as well.
And it brings you, I mean, Dubai is glitzy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money here, as we know. It aligns where the way you should be thinking.
Yeah.
Not I'm going to go live in a 3-bed apartment by myself. Look at this. It brings you down to earth firmly.
Yeah.
That this is how it is until you really start working. And as we know, Dubai is a city that you never stop working.
Yeah,
You've got to
exactly.
keep going. And if anything, it's a reason to keep going.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily want to be sharing with this or doing this or living in this certain location. And I know I've been there, and you do wake up in the morning and think, I've got to move.
The worst is when they eat
I've
your
got
food.
to move myself.
The worst is when they eat your food. Why would you go into my cupboard that's been assigned to me and eat my pasta? I don't understand.
Did you used to put the labels on it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you did.
I didn't. No, I didn't. But I did have my cupboard that had a shelf. And I was like, why do these people keep eating my pasta?
It's because you were going to buy it.
Yeah.
It was good stuff, right? And the shelf was the only one that's probably full.
It was, yeah.
Exactly
Yeah,
that.
it was,
exactly that. So you were with the agency you were at previous to Strada. Working hard there, building your clientele base.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will say it, and I know you're going to go a little bit red, but you then became successful, and you did.
Yeah.
You did. You were seen by, I think, some of the leading agency or developers as one of those agents of
thanks, buddy.
what can I say? But you were receiving awards for highest amount of sales and all this sort of stuff. You as an individual, because you're now receiving income, of course, and an amount that allows you to move out of where you were, house sharing and the rest of it.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Go on.
What or how did your mental state change when you then received that money? What did you then want to do? Did you want to start investing in property? And if you did, where did you start investing?
Initially, I wanted to just feel like I had money. So the first 6 months, to be honest, the Blue Waters deal that I could have had eats me up, even to this day, because I think you should have done it. And if I knew what I know now, hindsight's a wonderful thing, I would definitely have gone for it. So the first 6 months of making money, it was just about having some money in the bank, being able to do a few things I wanted to do, whatever. Then I started looking at buying property and investing in property. Watched a lot of YouTube, advised on a lot of bigger deals. And I feel like it's very, very, very easy. I'm just gone through the process of selling my house, right? So we have a big thing in the office where they all fall out with sellers because the seller agrees, gets to the point of signing the form, and then pulls out, right? And
Rising market.
right?
Yeah.
And I've just gone through the motion myself, and I said to him, guys, emotionally, you've got your wife in your ear going, we shouldn't do this, we just had a baby, blah, blah, blah. You've also thinking, right, I've built this, I've got loads of memories, I really like it, it's done to how I want, I don't really need to move out, but the price has gone up, so I'm doing it. There's so many different factors. So in answer to your question, I did start buying property, but I feel like to advise on property, you should have gone through the motions to do it. Buying and selling helps so much.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah,
off plan. I bought quite a lot of off plan. And so the guy that I worked for, I ended up going into business with.
Yep.
So I ended up sort of co-owning the business. We built it up and then sort of put together like a bit of a fund, if you like, and bought and sold properties through that.
And you did well from that.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
You did well from that.
Yeah.
And then so that then will bring me on to what you then bought, and I bought as well. I think we both support each other through it.
Yeah.
I know I can deliver this, Gino, and you were, well, I know that I can deliver this.
Yeah.
So you would find the property and then of course I was then managing it. So you decided to jump in to Shortlets.
Yes, I did. We had a development launch. Do you remember the day we went down there?
Yeah, it was two of us.
Yeah.
Just walking around trying
and then you got
to get in.
and they wouldn't let me in. Do you remember? So there was a launch.
Of course, I remember that.
There was a launch. I think you were going to Russell Camer or something
Well,
like
I
that.
think it's because you look like a real estate agent.
Yeah, I was in a suit. The worst thing I did was wear a suit. I should have gone like this. And
No, hang on. I thought we were talking about the viewing. You're talking about when we went into to actually reserve.
Oh, no, when we went and bought them. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Well, you look like a real estate
I was
agent.
in a suit and...
I was in shorts and a T-shirt.
Yeah, and so there was a massive queue outside and it was a development in Jamaica Gulf Estates.
Yeah.
Had a really, really attractive payment plan. So I remember phoning you. We'd been up, had a look and sort of looked at what was going to be available. Right, I like that. You like that.
Crunch the numbers.
Yeah, we did. We sat down, went through it. It all made sense. And again, everything you said would happen has happened, which is amazing. But yeah, on the day of buying it, it was a stressful day, wasn't it?
It was a stressful day. And we didn't get it.
No. Oh, no. I remember.
We didn't. He was, can you just write your name down? Well, it was the person at the sales office.
Yeah.
Can you write your name down? Because when we eventually got you into the sales office.
So you got in first, didn't you? And I was waiting outside like this. Can I get in, please? Can someone let me in?
And I was looking through the window with a cup of coffee waving. you eventually got in. And then we went through and then we were told, because it was chaos.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
It was loads of people.
Loads of people. I mean, you hear about, and I remember back in the day when I came out, which was to Dubai 10, 11 years ago, back on the token systems and outside and all of this sort of stuff. And even before that, it was chaos. And I never actually ever went to them to see it because I was never really off plan. I was always secondary. And then this, I wouldn't say was the same level, but it still was. Outside,
like a mini version.
It was a mini version, but outside there was still, 40 people.
Yeah.
And then inside, and then it was
waving checks around.
Waving physical checks.
Money,
And then you were saying, well, we got yours, so I started waving mine. Yeah. and then we got in, and then we were eventually taken around to the back, weren't we? And then they said, right, where's your, what do you want? We want that. Well, no. Write your names down on a scrap piece of paper.
He liked you, didn't he? The guy he didn't call you Greg, he called you something else.
George or something.
George.
Something like
and
that.
he said, where's George? I was going, who's
George? And
George?
I'm waving, going, I'm George. I'm
just
George
let him
today.
Call me whatever you want.
Whatever you want, he's getting there. And then scrap down piece, we wrote our names on a scrap piece of paper. Fast forward a month or two, your perseverance. Your perseverance was, where is it? You promised George.
Yeah.
George wants a property. I want a property. Come on, let's do it. And then we wound up at JGE
oh my God,
golf
I
course.
forgot about this.
Golf course. I think it was Ramadan last year. It's Ramadan last year.
It was Ramadan
last year. And he was a man of his words. And then you were a man of pure and utter determination to get it done. And we did it. So you bought the apartment.
I'm smiling because we were in the clubhouse at the time. Do you remember?
We were in the clubhouse at the time. You've been playing golf all morning.
Yeah.
I turned up late.
Yeah.
I don't play golf. I was up there to do a deal, but you were obviously enjoying the course before.
Yeah.
Weren't you? Of course you were. Yeah. But then, so you bought the property.
Yeah.
You furnished it yourself.
Yeah, that's the only mistake I made, I think.
Talk to me more about that because we have our furnishing department. And we did talk to you about it.
Yeah, we did. I feel like my wife wanted to do it as a bit of a project. So I said, okay, fine, you can do it, no problem. When you think about furnishing a 1-bed, a 2-bed apartment, you think to yourself, it's not that hard, right? Sofa, bed, TV, coffee table, it's pretty much it. That is definitely not it.
It is
not
what
I found out. Yeah. And I feel after many trips to IKEA and Pan Emirates and wherever else we went, I'm like, what are we doing? This is such a headache. So the mistake I think I made, I mean, it looks nice now, but yours look very specific. You know that they're yours.
It's a well-trodden path.
Yeah.
So
you know what you're doing, right?
We know what we're doing. I mean, we've done, I think we're almost 300 projects in less than 2 years, which you put that per day.
That makes you very busy.
Very busy. And the team are phenomenal. The furnishing team are on it. But the great thing is we do, and it's something when I set it up, was nothing looks the same, but you know it's us. Everything is different.
Yeah,
so
right.
with our furnishing services, we can use from our IKEAs to Pan Emirates to Alku's warehouses to online. And I think by doing so many projects and of course having AirDXB, we know what guests want. So everything is tailored to that.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing. What it looks like visually.
Exactly.
Where I think like I say, it looks nice and it does really well. So we got it all right. But going back in hindsight, again, I would definitely have just said, just furnish it, do what you want.
And for what we charge, which is anything between 2,500 to 5,000 dirhams, to do it all. Yeah. So you don't have to answer the phones to delivery men or do this or this. And then, as I said, we say to all our clients, we don't furnish for you. We don't furnish for us. We furnish for the consumer, the guest. It's about what they want. And we say pictures speak 1,000 words.
Yeah.
In what we do, pictures speak 1,000,000 words. No one reads a description. They look at a map of where it is, look at the pretty pictures, and book. So you want to make sure that's right. So you did the furnishing. I must say, though, it was good.
It was all right.
I was annoyed because I went in there going, oh, yeah, basically rubbish. Phone in hand, ready to message you. Tell your wife, okay?
Yeah.
I went and went, oh, no, I like this.
Yeah, it looks all right. Yeah. It's
so if Elliot wants a job,
get in the furnishing team. Yeah,
jump in the furnishing team. So you furnished it. So the big question then was, well, I suppose a big question before you furnished it, but why did you decide short let over long term?
Firstly, because it was a higher yield. Okay, I think that a lot of people, I'm talking sort of as me, as a broker and also as an owner, when I'm talking to people as a broker, the fear is, well, what happens in the summer, right? And we'd already discussed that okay, it might drop slightly, but Christmas, New Year is going to outweigh it. So your average is this. And as long as you know what your average is, it's fine. The average is still higher than the long term. For me, it's risk-free because, okay, I try it. If it doesn't work after 3 months, I put it into long term. It's furnished it or rent, right? I don't want to really do that because I'm tied in then, but I can. And it worked. And like I said to you, everything you said that would happen, all the numbers were bang on. Fills you with confidence. So, yeah.
And you've used it, well, you personally may well have done it, but I'm sure you've booked it out, friends, family.
I did, yeah. One of my partner's brothers stayed in it and loved it.
And that's it. There you go. There's somewhere to stay.
Brilliant. And I just text you, or I text in the group, I need these dates blocked out, please. Bang, done. Nice and easy. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah. And would you consider going to long term?
Now?
Yeah.
No, because
that's a very quick answer.
Because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So if we were missing months, if I was looking, I look at the calendar every week. I'm lying. I look at it every month. I like as well, you send a report every month so I can actually see. So I've got Ellie doing a spreadsheet so we know every month what the yield is. I make myself sound very clever. Astute investor. But it's bang on. Like, why would I change it? Even if the market increases, I don't need to change it. I'm really happy with the yield.
Because, I mean, is there a consideration to ever sell it? I'm sure you will at some point.
It will at one point.
Anytime soon, I think it's the better word terminology I should use. No.
No.
So, of course, you're a man that will know.
Yeah.
Selling a property with a tenant or selling a property vacant, what adds more value to your property?
Definitely vacant.
I mean, how much are you seeing of buyers coming to you saying, what have you got vacant? I mean, let's fast forward it. We'll get there in a minute. But you have sold your family house. You're trying to find somewhere to go now.
Anywhere. I was just about to say that. I can't find anywhere. Yeah, no, I don't want to keep talking about what I'm doing. But I
want to keep talking about what you're doing.
Yeah,
I want to keep talking about what you're doing because you're a fantastic example of going through the Dubai real estate world.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we sold it. We got whatever price we wanted. We're all happy. And my wife doesn't know anything about real estate, right? Other than what she hears with me on the phone or whatever. So she's going, right, I'll go on Property Finder. And right, you're not going to find anything on there, right? We go through the motions and everything's rented. Well, we can't move in. And I'm like, well, we're going to have to just accept rent somewhere and do whatever. And mate, there's nothing. There was a fact. I think it was me and you talking about it, right? We were talking about the facts of Jumeirah Golf Estates downtown, and there's
there's another real estate firm who came out and said something in the region of in Jumeirah Golf Estates on their register. There's around 80 properties. And 8 or 9 of them are vacant and transfer, the rest are long-term tenanted. I advised on a deal 2 months ago in Bay Central, great building for shortlets in Dubai Marina, 11% more than the asking price paid because they could occupy. So the value that it can add, because you don't know what's around the corner, is immense.
As well as that, just to jump in quickly while it's in my head, I feel like Dubai as well, in certain areas, is a bit like Legoland, right? Where a developer just builds 3 or 4 different options where it all looks fairly similar. And I think when you furnish it and add the finishing touches you add, it becomes a different house.
Correct.
So you're then asking for a higher asking price, but you've got reason, you've got value in it.
Yeah.
That they walk in and go, wow. Or they walk in and go, oh my God, if I was to live here, I'd do this, or I'd change maybe that and that. You can sell it so much easier. My unit now, or the ones we own, will sell so much easier than anything else in the building because you've got a track record, they're vacant, they're furnished really nicely, there's a little bit of upgrades done to them. Why would you not do it?
Yeah, it puts you at that top. So if there's ever a buyer looking for it, then that's the one that they're going to go to.
Yeah.
Moving on very quickly. You've now, moved into Strada.
Yep.
How's that all going? Enjoying it?
I love it, mate. Yeah, it's
Market's busy.
The market's busy. Do you know what? It's really nice. So the old firm was brilliant. It wasn't run the best, to be honest. We grew it quite quickly, and it was a completely different dynamic. I feel like coming into Strada, it's run properly. We only take on really good brokers and experienced brokers. So nice working with people that know the process, know the market, understand exactly what I was saying at the beginning, right? That they're not just chasing a quick pound note, right? They're actually doing a deal. Yeah, we're moving office, so we've just signed a new office.
Dubai Hills,
yeah,
well done,
it's quite a big office.
Big progress.
Yeah, big office. Yeah, big office to fill.
You will.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah. I'm not even worried.
It was fantastic going into your office early part of this week. The buzz, the feel, the
we had
energy.
You in, didn't we? Yeah.
Had you in. Talking to your brokers about using AirDXB to help advise potential buyers and the returns that they can make and all this sort of stuff. So, a collaboration there. One final point, this market, what's it going to do? Would you buy now? Would you sell?
I would buy now. I'm going to buy now. And I sold now.
See, a man that just goes through all of the different real estate situations, aren't you?
Yeah, because I
Buying
feel
now,
like
selling now.
Because if you're advising in it, then you should be in it yourself, right? Like all these people that are coming out, and advising on massive deals. They've never actually done a deal in their life. They don't know the feeling. Like, there is a certain feeling. I sat there with my hands in my head like this, thinking, why have I sold my house? What have I done? That's what a seller goes through. If you understand that, you can help do a deal. When a buyer goes through it, when you go through that day of when me and you were there running around with checks, when you go through that emotion of I lost it, we got it, you know what they're going through. In answer to your question, I don't have a crystal ball. I feel like the level of wealthy people that are coming here will prop the market up. I don't feel like it's going anywhere. I feel like obviously there's been big crashes before, but we were a very immature market back then, right? Whereas there's so many different things come into play now that matures the market. There's more people coming here than houses handing over. And again, using myself as an example, I have a certain criteria I'm looking to buy, which is an affordable house. It's not a massive house. There's nothing available. Yeah. You know, you look at the communities and you haven't really got that much choice.
This is a supply and demand situation.
It is, yeah. And I think that I've got a lot of friends in the UK, bankers, lawyers, brokers, that are looking to come over here now, that are phoning me, that are making really good money and doing whatever. They kind of come over here and they want to make money. They want to be in Dubai. They want the environment. They want everything that Dubai offers. It's not going to stop. So I feel if it doesn't stop, the market's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I feel. That's where I feel.
Well, let's see. Yeah. Well, look, Gino, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me, mate.
As I said, well, it's just fantastic. As I said, you've been through so many different parts of the real estate world, buying, selling, being an agent, coming over here with a backpack and a toothbrush, and that's about it. So thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
No, lovely being on.
Yeah, and look forward to a prosperous future for you.
And you, mate. Yeah.
Thank you. If you want to learn how AirDXB can dramatically increase the return on your asset, then drop us an email at gregory@air-dxb.com or visit our website, air-dxb.com.